Greetings and welcome to the Power Gamer Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Dawson. Got the whole family back this week. Welcome in fellow hosts, Johnny Paulus. And
hello.
On her long-awaited return, Kim Ponticello. Kim,
That's
welcome
me.
in. You worked a little bit last week, just a bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I planned a streamathon, and I was like, this is cool. It'll go a couple of days, and then I'll take like a day off because I do 13-hour stream. I'll do a 13-hour stream, go to sleep, wake up, and continue the timer. For anybody who doesn't know how a streamathon works, people donate and give bits, which is like a Twitch currency, and they give subscriptions, and every dollar amount equals more time on the timer. And I started at 6 hours, which is my normal stream. And I was like, this will be fine. Like, it'll probably go like a day, maybe two, if I'm lucky, 2 days. And it went 8 days for a total of 95 hours. And I am literally still recovering. I am so tired. I am so tired. But it was the most ridiculous amount of fun because I ate so many disgusting Bean Boozled and those really hot Bean Boozled. And I ate sour candy and I painted big, ugly, mean, angry eyebrows on my forehead. And I was covered in tattoos and I had a mustache, like I did a Van Gogh mustache and with the big, angry eyebrows. I'm so thankful I have not 1 ounce of decorum because my streams would be so boring. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was great. And we achieved, some pretty funny goals too that I'm excited to
really good goals. Yeah.
See in the future. Is Kong, is that happening? Or
I will make Kong happen. Yeah. I literally got to the point where I started with $1,000 milestone and one of my community members was like, you should make it 2,000. I'm like, no, I want to make it attainable. $2,800 later, I had no idea what milestones to do. I had no clue. I have an amigurumi crochet one. I have a giveaway. I have Marmite recipe night. Marmite's disgusting, by the way. I'm so sorry for anybody in the UK. And I did it right. Butter, very tiny bit of Marmite. My face literally disappeared into my face. I couldn't handle it. Anybody who eats Marmite, you're tough. I give you credit. But I'm doing a Marmite recipe. They're going to design my own pizza that I'm going to cook on stream. I'm getting a tattoo that they're going to design. So it was absolutely insane. And yes, one of the rewards is Kong. I found it on Instant Gaming for $16 and I'm going to get it. That's awesome. The worst of it all. I'd rather eat a jar of Marmite
than play Kong.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna grow on you like Walking Dead Destinies.
That's what I said. I was like, watch me. Walking Dead Destinies. I got so invested in that terrible fucking game. God, I couldn't stop. I don't know though, man. I saw the trailer for Kong and I was like, oh God, it's so bad.
It looks pretty terrible.
Did you watch gameplay yet?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
fucking bad.
It's rotten. And I can't wait. I'm gonna be there for all of it.
Oh, I know.
Johnny, I'm seeing some yawns from you, my fellow host. What has gotten you all worn out here, sir? You had a busy week?
Yeah, work's been working. Just, work like things happening. And I got a big 4-hour gig tomorrow. Over the 4th of July weekend, I had I think I already talked about that last week. I did the outdoor gig for 4 hours and cooked.
Indeed.
Still don't feel like I've recovered from that.
Oh, poor Johnny. Had to stand outside with his guitar and play for 4 hours.
Dude, playing guitar in the heat for 4 hours is tiring, I bet.
You know what I did this weekend?
What?
I stood outside in the heat and played guitar for 4 hours for a gig. I'm feeling great.
I watched movies all weekend.
Now, there was a little shade. It was a private party. And you both will appreciate this. So I get to this party, right? And it's a birthday party for Oma. So it's a German family. And they're like, Oma's like off the boat German. And Oma cooked for everyone.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I am jealous.
What was the menu?
100% German, top to bottom. So it was like 4 different varieties of sausages. It was her homemade, like, super secret sauerkraut recipe.
Oh
Like,
my God.
Yes,
it was
please.
the most delicious thing ever. It was her homemade potato salad. It was her home baked pretzels, her own mustard recipe to go with it. I mean, guys, it was nuts.
That sounds
And
awesome.
a nice selection of German beers out. I mean, they were just out in the woods in Davisonville, just out in middle of nowhere Davisonville. Super cool. So I got paid to be there,
Hey.
which was even better. So yeah. Also in the heat for 4 hours, which yeah, I guess that's a little easier pill to swallow when you're full of sausage and pretzels. So anything else going on with you, Johnny, other than being I'd say dried out in the sun, but we're on the East Coast, so it's more like saturated with a boiling hot
Yeah.
blanket of
Oh,
fuck.
stop it. That's disgusting.
No, man,
No.
I'm just doing my thing, working, gigging, playing a whole lot of Assassin's Creed 4. You might notice there's a fly tormenting me right now.
Oh yeah, I've already spotted the fly.
Yeah, so here's what's going on there. Our well about 5 days ago had no water. So like we wake up and the faucets have nothing. You know, like what the fuck? So we call the emergency service for the well people. This was Saturday. So they come out and they're like, "Oh, well the pump somehow worked its way out of the well. So we're going to run a temporary line." So they ran a temporary line down into the well and they ran that into the little water closet outside of our house. Well, the problem is when you have a hose this big around going into that door doesn't close all the way. So there's a door on the side of our house that's open like this much on the side of it. So that means the flies have found their way in, and it is the fucking worst. They're everywhere. It's driving me insane. Everywhere I walk in the downstairs area, I'm ready to throw fists at a fucking fly.
Anytime you tell stories about your well water, I am like
It's
so
the
fucking
worst.
thankful I live in a city, dude.
Oh my God. Well water is
Our
awful.
water is not fantastic here. Like the water here is like up and down. Some days I'm
Right.
like, ooh, this water is good. Other days I'm like, wow, this water tastes like somebody shat in it.
Yeah.
But I will take that over well water any fucking day.
It's just a hassle. I mean, like once it runs through its salt system and everything else, it tastes
I'm
fine.
just
but
laughing.
the
Look,
fly
you're
fucking
about to fucking karate
killing
chop.
me right now. It's killing me.
You need to go pick up the buzzer, the little
The bat,
electric
the
death light.
racket. You need to get the racket and just smack them.
Nah, just put up the electric death light outside the door.
How cheap are those on Amazon? I'll put one in the house.
Just
and
go
watch
over to
them
Home
die.
Depot and grab one. Just go grab one at Home Depot. You know, I can't imagine they're more than $20 for like the cheap. It'll work for a few days version.
Right. Yeah, that's about what I'm about to buy right now because I can't take this shit much longer. But I mean, no, they should be like they have to actually come and bring a backhoe and like dig shit up. So it's
Oh my
it's a
God.
big yeah. It's pretty awesome.
No.
Well, that certainly is more excitement than I could handle in the name of water.
I mean, it's that's one nice thing about renting. Not my fucking problem.
It's true. It's true.
Valid. And that you don't own a house that's attached to well water is
Yeah.
That's huge.
also a bonus.
Yep.
Yeah, I've just kind of been that same grind of work's crazy. Holy shit, I'm playing too many gigs.
Yep.
And things are great. I'm playing a gig on guitar this weekend. Our normal guitarist is off to the beach, so I'm playing it in fabulous Adams Morgan at this place called Death Punch.
That's
The
a
name of the
badass
bar.
That sounds peaceful. Sounds really chill.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have like an all-you-can-drink happy hour for like a set like $20 or something. It's gonna be a shit show. I can't wait.
That's a place I would stay far away from
And
because that's where I'd get into a fight.
Fuck that. I want to drink a Death Punch. That sounds awesome.
Well, if you're free Saturday and you feel like coming out to Adams Morgan, DC, I'll be
Yeah.
I'll be keeping it real in the nation's capital.
Not gonna make it.
Few blocks away from the beautiful National Zoo where the future pandas will be landing. This right where I'll be playing. So I digress. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to the Power Gamer Podcast. This is episode 164 of this fine top tier quality programming brought to you by the three of us, yours truly. We do appreciate your kindness and support, checking out the show, smashing that like button, clicking subscribe, click the bell, bro, or leave us a nice review if you're listening to us on an audio platform. We appreciate it greatly. It helps with our visibility.
Bruh.
And
it's bruh, not bro.
I don't know. What was I saying? I don't know.
Just love us, everybody.
You were saying
Please.
to like and subscribe and shower us with affection.
Please love us. Give us affirmation.
It's free, god damn it.
Do it.
It's so free.
It's free. Because we don't attract any advertisers, so not like we have a choice, but it's free.
We attract flies though. We got flies. We're good
No,
on
you
that.
do.
We get sketchy emails from Arabian businessmen sometimes.
I get sugar ants that bite are really hard.
Hey, I'll have you know that 5 weeks ago we were the 4th biggest video game podcast in all of China for some reason.
Yeah, wasn't that weird? We just had like this
Super
tremendous
weird.
spike in China.
Uh-huh.
It's like I say so many endearing things about the Chinese gaming business.
Did I talk about what? Wait, when was this?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Did I talk about Once Human? Did we mention Once Human?
I don't know. Well, you just mentioned Once Human. So maybe if that was it.
There's a website I go to frequently called Chartable where you can kind of see if you're on any charts anywhere. And like out of nowhere,
Chartable.
We were literally number 4. We were the 4th highest listened video game podcast in all of China for 1 week. And then it's just nosedive downward every week after. It's so weird. We went from 4th to like 27th to like 100th to like now we're like 150th or something.
That's still pretty good in China.
Still pretty good, yeah.
I call that the Mark Hamill effect.
Maybe.
Mark Hamill once in response to something Johnny said, retweeted our show.
Yeah.
And it led to quite a boom in traffic.
Mark Hamill gave us a 1-word review. He said we were fab.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. I'll take anything from Mark Hamill.
Hell yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. He likes to talk more about politics though than our show. So maybe switch that up, Mark Hamill. Maybe stop talking so much about politics and talk about the Power Gamer Podcast some more. We like you. You're pretty great.
He was pretty great.
Okay. It's time to get the show started. Yeah, the one thing I wanted to talk about this week, outside of doing just our normal games discussion, was, I can't pass up an opportunity to talk about Xbox. I mean, they're just so... They're so noisy. They talk so much. They do so much weird shit. And they say one thing and then do another. I wish I could talk more about Sony, but they just don't ever say anything. Ever. What's Sony up to? Who fucking knows? I don't know.
No idea.
Nobody does.
They just keep their nose to the grindstone and do their shit. And
not old Philly Spence. No.
Philly Spence.
Philly Spence. I'm gonna call him Philly Spence.
You know that Philly.
On.
So I've had a contentious relationship with my Xbox Series X.
I thought you were gonna say with Philly.
With my Xbox. Since buying it, I got my Series X before I got my PS5. And it's been an up and down relationship, to say the least. I'm back on Game Pass right now because of Dead Island 2 and because I wanted to play Senua. So I'm back on board for now, but I'm definitely treating that service like the second I've done what I want to do with it, I cancel it. Just because there hasn't been much that comes to it. But the one thing that's been great about it is that they've really stuck to their guns on this whole day one release. You know, if it's a Microsoft thing and Activision, Blizzard, whatever, Bethesda, you get it day one on Game Pass. And that's been great. But they just haven't been releasing stuff at a high enough, you know, consistent rhythm for me to stay subscribed to it every month. So, all that being said, I was super intrigued to learn that, not surprised, but just intrigued to see this big kind of overhaul in changes and all these different tiers that are going to be coming down the pipe in September that really kind of walks back some things that were said in the FTC trial. You're crazy if you didn't think that was going to happen. But more surprising is the whole that whole cornerstone of this experiment of day one releases. Day one releases, always part of Game Pass. Day one. That's gotten a little bit more confusing with their new layout, and I've definitely got some thoughts on it, but kind of the quick and dirty, okay, is that Game Pass Ultimate. So the you get everything Game Pass, which traditionally I'm used to costing about $15 a month, is going up $5 a month. So for $19.99, you get Game Pass Ultimate, and that is, as it were, where you get the full library of Game Pass games for console and PC, cloud, EA Play, the day one titles, online multiplayer, etc., etc. What's interesting, though, is that for newcomers to the service, that will be the only tier on console that you can buy into that gives you access to day one. And there's 3 other tiers, or 4, depending on how you want to look at it. It's fucking crazy confusing how many different cuts they've released of this. Which I used to think the PlayStation one was confusing. Now that looks super, super easy by comparison. So the standard Game Pass now, that's going to be $15 a month, is a limited library of Game Pass games for console, which doesn't include day one titles. And then the most intriguing of all is it kind of seems like the place to be right now as a Game Pass subscriber is going to be PC moving forward. $11.99 a month, PC Game Pass, EA Play, and you will get all the day one releases. So a huge FU to the console market. But maybe they're trying to grow things on PC and keep it cheap to attract people to come play there. There's 2 lower tiers. So one's kind of a grandfather that's going to hang around for a little bit for existing console subscribers. That's going to be no change. I think that is going to end somewhere around September or maybe the end of the year. And then Game Pass Core, which is what replaced Xbox Live Gold, that just gives you online multiplayer and 25 games from Game Pass, no day one. So that's the gist of it. I've got some feelings about it, but Johnny, I'm gonna pass the torch to you first and just kind of see, where are you at with it? What's your take on all this?
I mean, we all still pay $22.99 a month for Netflix, right?
No, I get mine through T-Mobile.
Fair enough. But I mean, I mean, $20 is not offensive to me with the sheer amount of games that they have, and the fact that you don't have to do the yearly buy-in. You can just do the Mike approach of, there's nothing I really want to play right now. Let me turn it off, and then wait a couple months and be like, oh shit, day one, I do want to play that game. Let me fire this back up. It doesn't surprise me, and I know the internet's been all pissed off about it. It doesn't bother me one bit. I'm $20 for I don't know, 150 games
like
and
300.
EA and day one and all that. I mean, whatever. I'm a gamer. $20 is a small price to pay for the amount of shit I have.
Yeah, that's fair. One thing I've kind of said about the whole game subscription service is look at comparable subscriptions. So Spotify, for example, like a music album for us old people that remember albums. If you wanted to buy an album brand new at a store, it'd be between $15-$20.
Yep.
For the new CD from, your favorite band. Oh, that new Semisonic CD dropped. Let me get out my $15.
I don't know. I still owe Columbia like $1.
Oh no!
I didn't read the fine print. You owe them a lot more than $1.
not the CD club. But so if you think, well, okay, Spotify is what, $17-$18 a month. So you're basically paying for an album each month and just getting access to the whole thing. So a video game these days costs $70. So you're paying less than a third of that and getting 300 plus the new game that just dropped the day that it drops from all of their first party studios. So value proposition wise, I always thought Xbox was a little light on cost.
Same.
Based on what the service was providing. Now I think their whole game plan was, well, we'll make up for it in numbers. That obviously that never happened. But so I think value wise, it's still a decent value. At $20 a month, and that they probably should have started the service this way, where day one was tied to a top tier service and not just part of every level. But I guess the flip side of that would be is that's not what they did. And they've been broadcasting this message to people that bought this system, bought in on the console, that day one will always be part of Game Pass. And so do I understand the person who financially is in the situation where they chose what console they wanted to buy? They don't have both. And you chose the Xbox because of this amazing service that you were going to pay for every single month. Well, yeah, I definitely understand where they're coming from. And yeah, I would interpret it as, that person probably feels like they had the rug pulled out from under them a little bit. I also think, though, that if an increase of $5 a month for gaming, I mean, gaming is not a cheap hobby. And if $5 is the difference maker of in your life of whether you're going to continue with the thing that you want or not, you might need to reevaluate how you're spending your money.
Yep.
But everyone's situation is different. So, Kim, any thoughts from you on the change? Any feels, any takes?
I mean, I don't have an Xbox, and so I'm like, I don't have an Xbox. I've never been like, the last Xbox I had was a 360 because I used to be an Xbox gamer, but I have a PC, and so I do 99% of my gaming on the PC, and then I also have a PS5 and a Switch. But yeah, so it doesn't impact me too much. But I feel bad, like you said, like people who got the Xbox, people who can't afford PCs, right? Especially now, like the climate of games, you need a pretty powerful rig to play some of the newer games. And so people who can't afford that, they have their consoles, which is great. I've never been one of those PC master race people. Like I want everybody to be able to play games because I love games and everybody should be able to enjoy them. And so people who went and got the Xbox because Xbox has this amazing Game Pass, it kind of sucks that they're going to have to fork out more because, I can write off my monthly bills because I game for a living, so I can write them off. Not everybody can do that, number one, and $20 a month to somebody might be a whole lot more than it is to somebody else, and so, I feel bad. I feel kind of bad for people, for Xbox owners who now have to fork out more monthly. If that's the only gaming system they have, they might not have the option of, take a few months off of Game Pass and then join again if that's the only gaming option they have and they like to game every night,
Yeah, for sure. And this kind of tying into what you're saying, Kim. This is kind of my biggest point of confusion with this. If you look across the aisle to PlayStation, to Sony, and their subscription service, which I love. I'm a really
do
big
too, yeah.
advocate for PlayStation Plus Extra, the middle tier.
That's what I have, yeah. Oh, I think I actually upgraded.
Yeah, I'm on premium now because it's barely any more.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm on premium as well.
So, but what's interesting with PlayStation is that of their 3 tiers, the best one undoubtedly is the one that's in the middle, the extra. I mean, that's really where you get the big library of current stuff.
Yeah.
Their library as well, I think, is a lot better than the one that I see on Game Pass. There's a ton of PlayStation exclusives in it. The sheer volume of games is about double what's on Game Pass at any given point in time. And I mean, cost-wise, it's a better deal, just straight up in dollars and cents. Now with these changes that Microsoft is putting forward with the Game Pass, I kind of will just say the PC thing, that's its own thing, right? $12 a month, fantastic deal, huge win for PC gamers.
Agreed.
But
I am curious about one thing though. Sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we have PC Game Pass games and EA Play, right, on the PC Game Pass for $12, right? Day one titles. So I'm guessing, so that doesn't include Xbox Game Pass games?
It does. It's just
because the top one, the $20 one, access to full library of Xbox Game Pass games, PC Game Pass games.
Yep. So there's
EA Play, day one. So
there's some.
Does that mean
games,
like Viva Pinata, stuff like that?
Exactly. So like the 360 games that never got PC ports, you can't touch them on PC.
Viva Pinata should have a PC port. I'm just saying. Rare.
Yeah, I mean,
it's literally something that bothers me.
Yeah, that would be nice. Yeah, there's a bunch of titles that are only on the console, and we don't get access on it on PC. But I mean, that being said, in 2024, almost every new game comes to both.
Yeah. All right, but I cut you off, Mike. I'm sorry.
So where I was going with my my diatribe and my comparison to PlayStation Plus is the 3 tiers all have inherent value. So the base tier over on PlayStation, it gives you the monthly games, and it also gives you the most critical feature of all, which is cloud storage. And then just moving up to Extra, you get a tremendous library of really good quality games. And then if you're into doing the game trials, which there's seemingly game trials now for every game that comes out. If you're into the classics catalog, which they've been adding a ton to lately, and backdating them with trophies, which I'm all about. All 3 tiers kind of have their own identity at this point. They're easy to understand, and you just get a lot for your money. And there was never you get day one, even though they do sprinkle in some day one releases over there, like Animal Well was a day one release. So was Stray. So you do see them here and there. So now I'm looking at Xbox's new model, and I like to make an argument for something before I purchase it. I can make the argument for Game Pass Ultimate. The $20 a month is still a decent deal for everything.
Yep.
But I look at Game Pass Standard, $15 a month, a limited library of Game Pass games, which doesn't include day one titles, online multiplayer, and member deals. So some sales here and there. Who the fuck is buying that?
Agreed.
You know,
I don't think they plan on anybody buying it. I literally think it's the movie theater popcorn experience.
That's the exact analogy I was going to make. It's the
Yeah.
movie theater popcorn.
yeah, it's just, it feels pointless. Like, at least make it the full library of Game Pass games, right?
Agreed.
Or at least make it where you get the console and PC, you know, something. Because when you look at that, and then you look over at PC and you're like, man, you get all the PC games, you get EA Play, and you get day one titles for $12 a month. But sucker me, I bought the console. Standard is just, what is it? It's, yeah, it's as you guys said. And then, yeah, of course, the Game Pass core, that's fine and well for somebody that says, I'm buying Call of Duty and I just want to play it online. Okay, great. that's always what Xbox Live Gold has basically been.
Yep.
So they've really narrowed it down to where, like, it's ultimate or bust, but now there's all these tiers, and, you know, Christmas is around the corner, and I always think about parents trying to sit and stare at the fucking list of different services for little Johnny and try and figure out which one to buy. And so, yeah, I mean, how does this shake out? So mom and dad go to the store, they buy a Series S because they're like, it's an Xbox. Let's buy the Series S. And then they buy Game Pass Standard. They're like, we're going to get them Standard.
You got your kid Cole for Christmas at that
That's
point.
right.
I mean,
That's
how
right.
fucked is that? Like, because
Yeah.
besides, not for nothing with the whole Game Pass thing, but then just the whole fiasco that is the Series S, and how companies are basically making things PlayStation exclusive because they don't want to write things for the Series S. And you get these crummy versions of the games that barely run. Oh my gosh. Xbox, get it together. You just had all this goodwill from your showcase. All of this all you had to do, you had it on the T stand. You just had to leave well enough alone, knock it out of the park, get people in the door, and then fuck around. But I think this PlayStation's about to say, hey, it's PlayStation Pro time. Hey, it's Ghost of Tsushima 2 time. Which, oh, by the way, what's the best-selling game in the world right now? Ghost of Tsushima. Because the PC version of it is absolutely crushing sales numbers.
Yeah.
Really? That's
yeah,
awesome.
it is. Yeah. Yep.
As it should.
It should.
They're
absolutely.
selling millions of copies of it on PC. Absolutely crushing. So it's just like Xbox has like always been so close to getting somewhere with what they're doing, and they take one step forward and two steps back. And like, this just kind of feels like bad timing. You finally, for the first time in years, had some goodwill on your side. You know, it's been first party fiasco after first party fiasco, or letdown, or lukewarm. You know, Redfall, Senua not really lighting the world on fire. And then you have your showcase, and everyone's like, oh, Avowed. Okay. Perfect Dark. Wow, that looks awesome. Indiana Jones, fucking sign me up.
Yep.
That's all coming to Game Pass day one. Oh, Call of Duty's coming to Game Pass day one. And then you have this. So I feel for you people if you're kind of fed up, and I get it. Because I kind of am too. I have an Xbox. You know, the three of us are all like a little different. So Johnny's almost always on PC, right? Kim is usually on PC, and I'm usually on console. So like I'm always really in tune. Even though I have the crazy gaming PC, I just love consoles. I can't help it. I love to play on them. I got two people shaking their heads.
And I are both like,
you just look, Mike, you need to buy a 144 hertz monitor so that you can see what gaming beyond 60 frame looks like.
I have one.
Do you have it set to 144 hertz? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
It's a big fucking crazy $1,000 curved 144 hertz monitor. It's sick.
It's like owning a Ferrari and then you just drive your
Pinto.
whatever, your Ford around all day. I just don't get it. The Ferrari's right fucking there. It's right there in the
Hey,
garage, bro.
When I want to play
The
Starfield,
keys are in the ignition.
And it's like, oh, but yeah, I'm gonna take out the
Not
Pinto
Starfield.
because the seats are more worn and it's comfortable.
when I want to play,
I'd rather move 3 feet over and sit on the couch. Like, it's right fucking there. It's in the same room.
when I want to play Star Citizen, it's fucking amazing. But when I want to play Unicorn Overlord, this shit doesn't matter. Put me on the couch with my dog. You know what I mean? And I'm all about.
I mean, I get
And
that.
I'm all about the Sony exclusives and the Nintendo exclusives. You know, PC's fine. I played a bunch of PC games this year. I did Alan Wake 2 over here on PC. It was glorious. But like I said, I'm usually on console.
Yeah.
Whereas Kim is usually on PC and Johnny is almost always on PC. You still play your PlayStation.
I play PlayStation every day.
See?
Johnny plays PlayStation more than I do.
I'm not crazy. There's inherent I like consoles. I always have. Anyway, we've got a lot of games to talk about. If you listeners out there have anything you want to say about Game Pass, I don't think we gave any hot takes, but every time we talk about Game Pass, somebody has to come into the comment section and tell me I'm a fucking idiot. So
You're a fucking idiot.
how dare you mention the thing that they're actually doing? Crazy.
I don't think any of us had like really hot takes about this. Like, I don't know. I feel bad for Xbox players who only have Xboxes. I really do. Because it's like, that's what they have, you know?
Yeah, I think my biggest point is still going to be the person that bought in that's like, this is the message that they're broadcasting.
Right.
So I'm buying this. I'm not buying the PlayStation. I'm buying this because I'm in on Game Pass. And then, Phil Spency Poo has just flipped you upside down and shaking out your pockets.
Philly.
Old Philly Spence.
Old Philly Spence.
Just let you have it, kids. It's fine. When I want to play things on Game Pass, i.e. anytime they release a game that's first party, I will play their game, not give them the $70, pay them $20, and then discreetly dip out the second I roll credits. So I'm fine with it. But I do see that it sucks. All right. Time to move on to the games we've been playing this week. Kim, you weren't here last week, but I've been handling this segment a little bit differently, and I kind of liked it last week. So all right. I'm going to tee up the game. And then either of you will inherently know who I'm teeing up, but that way we can kind of split up the time a little bit more. You don't have to chug a gallon of water before I call on you, because you're going to have to talk for like 20 minutes straight.
And I play so many fucking games.
So not doing that to you. So I'll kind of lead you into each game here.
Okay.
So the first one I want to talk about, the first one I'm dying to talk about, is with you, Kim, because I see that I see here in the notes. What a surprise. You finished Callisto Protocol.
I did.
So
I did.
Tell us how you feel.
Okay. Final fight, I hated it. I hated the final fight. However, I feel like that game is so fucking underrated and people gave it so much shit for nothing. I loved that game. I did. The voice acting was amazing. The game was beautiful. The combat, in my opinion, was sometimes frustrating, but like fun in the end. It was fun. It's a Dead Space, melee Dead Space. It was a fun space game made by the same person who made Dead Space, yeah? And like his team. So like, why take something that did really, really well and say, well, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to make it anything like that. Dead Space was an amazing game, so why not make another game that could potentially be beloved? And to me, I fell in love with that game. I fucking loved it. Like, I thought it was a blast. I literally couldn't wait to play it. Like, every time I was going to stream, I was like, Callisto Protocol. It was a great game.
The combat in Callisto Protocol kind of gets underwritten, in my opinion. It's so different from Dead Space.
So different. Yeah.
It is
so different.
it is a frenetic, you're on the sticks, doing the dodges, doing the attacks, using your abilities. It has some elements that Dead Space has, like, throwing I want to say necromorphs, but they're not necromorphs in Callisto Protocol, but chucking the zombie things into fans and stuff. But it's so much more focused on melee combat, where your guns are more just a finisher to a combo. If you're really kind of min-maxing the tools Glenn Schofield has laid out in front of you. And I think the storytelling in Callisto Protocol is also...
I thought it was great.
I mean,
I thought the story was great, and I thought the storytelling was fantastic. I feel like that game... I almost feel like it was a... what's it called when... I almost wanted to say a listening box, but that's not the right... What is it like when somebody starts saying something's bad and so everybody's like, oh yeah, it's bad, oh yeah, it's bad. I don't know. There's like a term for
chamber.
It. Echo chamber. Thank you. I almost feel like it fell into an echo chamber without people really giving it an opportunity, because I thoroughly enjoyed that game. I really did. And the minute when I booted that game up and you came into chat, Mike, and you were like, this is one of my favorite games, I was like, I'm going to love this fucking game, because I just knew it, because I just always end up loving it. Like, you and I have such similar taste in games, and I've loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, the end boss was definitely interesting to watch somebody else take on. My build in the game was, from start to finish, I just immediately clicked with the whole, this is a melee combat game. So in my playthrough of it, I only invested any points into 2 weapons, which was the baton and the hand cannon. They give you a shotgun at some point, never used it. They give you an assault rifle at one point, never used it. All I did in the whole game
shotgun.
was fucking beat the shit out of these bastards. And at the end of the combo, blow them to bits with the hand cannon. So it's like bop, 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 shoot.
Right.
And I think I got through literally the entire game, including the end boss fight, with this run through. And
I did most of the game that way. And I thought it was fun.
What was
the dodging mechanic? I thought it was going to be difficult, but it was...
You can just lean on it.
Felt just lean. Like, the minute something's approaching you, lean one way, and then lean the other way, and then lean the other way. And so you dodge, and you dodge, and you dodge, and then you're like, pow, 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 pew. And it was so fun. For some reason, the final boss, I could not get a combo, and I don't know why. And I was like, screw it. I'm just going to shoot him. And I did. I finally got him.
You just mowed him down.
I don't know why it wasn't... I just mowed him. I was like, forget it. I'm just going to do it the way I'm doing it. But I don't know if it was like just bugged out for me or whatever. But even with that pain in the ass boss fight at the end, that was like buggy for me. I would absolutely recommend people who wrote this game off but enjoy sci-fi horror thriller, play it. It's good. It's a great game, and it was just written off, and I feel kind of bad about that because I loved it.
I really wish, and I haven't said this to you before yet, I really wish I could talk to you about the ending of the DLC, because it is Glenn Schofield, like, his ultimate nightmare that he could possibly present, realized in content.
I don't think I have the DLC,
and
I think it's like $3 or something on Steam.
Maybe I'll buy it.
It does this thing at the end that is like one of the best fucking plot twists, just pull the rug out from under you moments that I've ever seen in a game. And it's fucking horrifying to sit and think about. It's really cool. So I don't want to...
Is that Final Transmission?
Yeah.
$15.
Ooh.
Wait till
wait
till the next Steam sale. I bought it for literally like $3.
Or
Okay. All right, I'll do that.
It's
Yeah.
It's fucked with a capital F, this thing.
Okay.
It's really wild.
And that game also has one of my favorite video game actors in all of video games, Sam Witwer.
mhm.
I love Sam Witwer. I mean, but
Sam
I knew
Witwer's
him
always
way
great.
before video games. But I love Sam Witwer. He was one of my favorite actors in The Myst, Being Human. I love Sam Witwer.
Yeah,
And
me too.
then Days Gone like solidified my love for him in video games. That's the one game that I'm like, please just give me a fucking sequel.
You'll never get it.
Don't forget
please
about
give me-
Force Unleashed.
I never played Force Unleashed. Can you
Sam
believe that?
Witwer is Star
I know.
Killer. The
I know.
protagonist of that game is Sam Witwer.
I know.
First,
So yeah, so
first
it was
Force
it was
Unleashed,
so fun
very
seeing
good.
him.
Second one, hot trash.
Agreed.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's what I've heard.
first one's wonderful.
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yes.
I see that you have continued playing the same games that you were playing last week.
Yeah. Yeah.
How's life aboard the pirate ship in Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag? Wow, I almost said Black Flag. Flag. Sorry. I got tongue tied and almost said something very offensive. My bad.
So I see what you almost did there. So when I was camping like 2-3 weeks ago, I had a late night conversation with my brother-in-law who's similar to me. He likes big open world AAA lose yourself in it type video games like Witcher 3 and Horizon and shit. Like that's his shit. And he was like, I don't have one of those right now. And I wish I could find one. And a week later, I started playing Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. And Russ listens to all of our episodes. So I'm gonna give him a shout out. Hey Russ, you should just go ahead and fire up Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I think this is my favorite Assassin's Creed game, and I'm only 26 hours in. It's fucking
only
awesome.
26 hours in.
It's fucking awesome.
It's a big boy.
It's a big game. But
Yeah.
like so now I have a diving bell so I can find these old shipwrecks and go down underwater, and you have to do stealth against the sharks to try to get the treasure chests, and then you come back up and there's a fucking naval fleet of people hunting you down because you're like, all right, we'll go do that. There's just so much shit to do in this game, and it is incredibly fun. I love this game. And Kim, I think I kind of want to play Skull and Bones now. I think I get it.
It's fun.
I think I get it now.
It's a fun game. I haven't played it in a while because I've discovered that I just love playing it with community, and there isn't enough anymore.
Right.
But it is definitely a fun game to give a go. It is.
But
It is.
yeah, no, I mean this is shaping up to be my favorite Assassin's Creed game. I'm just having an absolute fucking blast with this game. I love the hunting. I love the ship fights. It's just great. The shanties, collecting the shanties that they sing while you're sailing. I could sit around for 8 hours a day and just roll around in my ship and fight whoever wants to come fuck with me and hunt sharks, and the game's awesome. I cannot get enough of this game.
Definitely the favorite one I've played, but never finished. But I also had the game
I've never played it, and I have to.
horribly spoiled for me by some dick
Oh.
bag. And like that's
Oh.
this is one where I've been warning Johnny the whole time. I'm like, stay the fuck away from anybody that wants to talk to you
Yep.
about this game.
Yep.
It can be ruined very easily. So avoid.
Yeah, no, nothing's been spoiled yet, but dude, I am fucking in love with this game. It holds up really, really, really well.
I imagine that will deepen as you advance the story. Guys, I finally did it. Okay. I got the platinum trophy in Police Simulator.
Oh, hold on a second. Wow. I am.
Good job.
Yay. That's amazing.
Something neither one of you will ever do. I have achieved, I have climbed
Proudly.
the mountaintop.
I would rather platinum Paw Patrol.
I have climbed the mountain and done the unthinkable and got the platinum trophy for Police Simulator. Did you know to get the platinum trophy on Police Simulator, you have to arrest 50 people.
You have to eat 30 donuts.
You have to arrest 50 people for DUI.
Wow.
You have to call ambulances for 50 people.
Oh, man.
You have to plant 150 crack rocks in innocent people's cars.
You sadly cannot do that. But the consent to search seems to not be a thing. You just walk up to somebody on the street and just search them at will. Be like, he looks suspicious. Let's search this guy. But then I started realizing fucking with the general public wasn't advancing my quest for platinum glory. I'm like, oh my God, I got to find people that are drunk driving. So I'm just running around the city on foot, by car, whatever, just looking for people that are a little wobbly behind the steering wheel and pull.
Just like real life, fill in that quota.
It was tough.
Yep.
It was tough. And the other part that was tough was writing 100 speeding tickets with the radar gun. Because in this game, cars sometimes spawn, but most of the time they don't.
Oh, no.
And I found a magical street corner where the cars just kept on spawning.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was right where the speed limit changed. And
I have to ask you a serious question. It's not even a question. You had to have been high out of your fucking mind playing this game to platinum it.
Bone sober.
Oh my God.
I barely ever drink. I really don't smoke anything unless Johnny wants to watch Transformers. So I raw dogged this one, Kim.
I would rather platinum Paw Patrol.
So Police Simulator, it's free on PlayStation Plus Extra, which is the right price for that game.
Oh, thank God.
And so I didn't invest a cent in it, and I don't think I'll be getting the Highway Patrol DLC for it. I think we're done.
I see. Okay.
So Officer Frank Miller, the fine cop that I built with the very limited customization tools. Stand down, Officer Frank Miller. Yeah.
Named after the comic book.
I didn't get to
Frank
choose
Miller?
his name. The game chose it for me.
Oh, okay.
I see.
It's real deep customization options.
Yeah.
Kim, I see, unlike Police Simulator, that you have completed one of the greatest video games of all time, both in terms of its fine quality, but also its historical relevance.
Yes.
You have completed Myst.
Yes, that was one of my first PC games I ever played. And what happened was I received Riven, which is also on my list. That I got Riven from Cyan. And I was like, I can't just hop into Riven. I gotta play Myst again. And so I got the remaster of Myst, and it was beautiful. Like it was absolutely beautiful. So I played through Myst, beat that, and then started Riven. And it was honestly, like, I can't even sit here and say, sometimes you play a game like from back in the day and you're like, it's kind of like SpaghettiOs, right? Like sometimes I'll be like, man, I could really go for SpaghettiOs. And so I'll get a can of SpaghettiOs and I'll take a bite and I'll go, I thought these were way better.
Yeah. They're pretty good if you put a little Parmesan on them.
That's fucking blasphemy. I would use Parmesan on that.
I still get down with some SpaghettiOs.
Oh.
Or the
Have to be the hot dogs or meatballs. If it's
all right, but
just
listen,
SpaghettiOs,
I won't lie
I'm not
to you.
interested.
The little mini raviolis, sometimes I can eat those.
yeah,
all right, but anyway,
they're delicious.
I digress. But Myst and Riven, none of that. Like literally solid, beautiful, fantastic. I haven't finished Riven yet. Dying to get back to it. I figured I would just bulk these together. Wow. Like it felt so good to play through Myst again and to relive it all over again. And I'm not a nostalgia person. And then to hop into Riven, which they did a fucking A++ job remastering. I can't stress to you how great they did remastering that game. Yeah, so that was like even though I did it during my streamathon and I did both of those during my streamathon, and there were points where I was like, I think I'm too tired to play this. Like, I couldn't figure out the puzzles sometimes because I was like completely zoned out. But
big brain puzzles. You know, it's sort of a
very big brain games.
The newest game that reminds me of Myst was this game called The Witness. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that, but very, very similar. Yep. But the feng shui of Myst just completely trounces it, in my opinion. Talos Principle is also kind of a similar kind of game series. So
is Myst on Game Pass?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know.
No.
I bought it super duper cheap. Like, I bought it so cheap on Steam. I don't know that I bought it on Steam. I may have gotten on Instant Gaming. I can't remember.
Of course you have.
Of course you have it.
The Nintendo DS version of Myst.
You know, why not?
Of course you do.
The landmark Nintendo
when I have my
DS
Broderbund software disc right above my computer here, so of course. So free on PlayStation Plus Extra now. Final Fantasy VII Reunion Crisis Core. Johnny, you're still working on this. This is still going. You take those long walks with these Final Fantasy VII games.
7 years ago, Johnny started playing Final Fantasy VII.
I honestly, with Crisis Core, I've been kind of I've only got like 16 hours into it. I'm not, I'm taking little bites. I'm not like losing myself into it, but I don't know. I'm invested in the story. It's cool. The combat's very basic. The level design is very basic, but the story's there and the combat's kind of fun. So I'm doing all right. I don't really have much to report on it beyond that. I haven't gotten to the end yet. I think I probably will soon. I can't imagine it's much longer than what I'm at. I don't know. Let me Google how long it takes to beat.
It's the right price now for me to maybe check this out, because I am still really burnt out from Final Fantasy VII Remake. But
okay, so it's about 18 hours. So
finish him.
I should probably just finish it.
Yeah, very good. A game that's not short of the Japanese RPG variety that I've also beaten once previously. I've returned to Octopath Traveler, the original Octopath Traveler. For those longtime listeners, you'll recall that when the game came out, I bought it on my stinky Switch, and I played through it, and it was real hard, and I had a hard time dealing with leveling up all my characters at the same time. But more or less, I beat the main story for the first character that I had, and like 3 of my other party members, and I said, you know what? I saw credits. I'm good. I don't need to beat my head into a wall on this. Then Octopath Traveler 2 came out last year, and I beat the living pants off that game and came up with a great system for getting all my characters up to level, and I had a blast with it. And I just got to thinking, man, I should go back to Octopath Traveler with all the knowledge that I gleaned from Octopath Traveler 2 and do it again. But this time, do it right and beat the living pants off of it. So I am in progress. I know that I've bitten off 100 hours of time to do this because it is a tremendously long game, but it is so good. And it's so much better now that I'm not playing it on the Switch. Oh my God. You wouldn't think that a performance bump to a retro pixel game was important.
But that Octopath Traveler though is different. Like it yes, it has that retro pixel element, but goddamn the scenery in the background.
So
the first time I ever saw that game, I literally know nothing about the game. I've only seen somebody play a little bit of it, and I immediately stopped watching because as soon as I saw the beauty of that game, I'm like, I have to add this to my list because it is stunning.
So for those that have Game Pass. Now, I think this is just console. I could be mistaken. You'll have to check on your PCs. But they did add Octopath Traveler 1 and 2 to Game Pass, which is fucking phenomenal. because Octopath Traveler 2 is one of the best games I've ever played in my entire life. Huge improvements over the first one. But yeah, you can check it out on Game Pass if you have console, maybe PC. Sounds like Johnny's checking that out for us now.
Octopath, yeah, they're both on PC.
There you go.
I have them both installed.
So,
I think it's in my bowl, to be honest with you.
it's so good, and you can totally just relax and play it. It's such a great little cozy game to play through, and the combat's just amazing, especially in the second one. Like the things they did to change the combat in 2, huge improvements. But yeah, I'm hanging out with an old friend. I'm having a great time. Speaking of an old friend, let's talk about our old friend Dave. Dave the Diver, of course. Me and Johnny both loved this game and are each thrilled to see our good friend Kim has sprung off the diving board and into the sea. So
yeah.
How's
I got to tell you
it
little backstory behind this. So everybody listening, you may have heard me talk about my bowl of games. Well, every time I finish a game out of the bowl, I do a thing where my community, my viewers on Twitch can put channel points in to enter their name on a spin wheel. And if your name gets picked on the spin wheel, you can pick my next game from the bowl. And the person who won was Ash. Let me tell you about Ash's taste in games. I hate it. Professor Layton was something she made me play, and I literally wanted... Do I call him Daddy Layton? Yes, Layton is sexy, okay? Whatever. The games make me want to just stick my fingers in my eyes and push them as far back as I can, okay? Then she made me play SpongeBob. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. Maybe if I were like 5, I'd be having fun with it. I gave up on it. I was done. I couldn't do anymore.
SpongeBob wins.
She did have me... SpongeBob won. I'm okay with that. She did have me play the Frog Detective games, but that she paid flat out money for, and those were stupendous. I don't have them on my list because I forgot. They were stupendous. I highly recommend Frog Detective games. Very fast. So she won again. She won the spin wheel, and everybody was like, "Oh, here we go." And she goes, "David Diver looks kind of cute." And we were like, yes! Like, Pike was astounded because that's one of Pike's favorite games, my partner. And he bought me the game because he's like, I need to see you play this game. Like, you have to play this game. And so I started playing the game, and it was love at first sight. Like, I love this. I just got to the part where I have the fish breeding part. I love this damn game. So because I was playing it, Ash, who was watching me play it, literally that day was like, she DM'd me and she goes, "I hate you." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "You are having so much fun playing that, and it looks so good. I bought it and I can't stop playing it."
It's fucking great.
It's so good. It is. I am so happy I'm finally playing it. I'm so glad that was the game that was picked. What a game. Like, I'm just head over heels for it. Yeah. You guys were both right. It's astounding.
If I said it when I rolled credits on it, if Sea of Stars didn't come out the same year, Dave the Diver would have won Indie Game of the Year, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just Sea of Stars is just that one stair step more stupendous, but Dave the Diver is perfect.
Just so good. It's so good.
Oh, very good. No, I'm glad you're enjoying it, and I'll be excited to think once you near the end.
The Godzilla DLC is hella fun, by the way. Make sure you add it to your account before.
I do. I have Godzilla and I have Dredge.
Cool.
Yeah.
In addition to Octopath Traveler, still playing Dead Island 2. Don't have a ton to say about it right now, but yeah, it's very good. It's very good.
It's
fun.
It
runs great on the console. It runs great. So life is good with Dead Island 2. You can play it on Game Pass. Definitely play it with a friend.
They did a great job on it. Considering it was in dev hell for so long, they did such a damn good. Oh, that game is great. That game is so much fun. It's a damn good game. Zombie bashing, head bashing, kicking.
Yeah,
the jump kick, the jump kick is like the best thing
I'm
ever.
at the hub now where it's like the washed up rock star dude and his girlfriend. So that's about where I'm at. I feel like I'm like halfway ish.
So good. It's such a fun. And I highly recommend the DLCs.
Yeah, we'll
highly recommend the
play through the whole
DLCs.
thing, no doubt.
Yeah.
Kim, I am going to kind of turn it over to you here. We're going to come back on this one shared one we have to wrap, but you kind of have a hodgepodge of stuff. So I'm going to let you take the wheel because some of these I don't even know what they are. So
okay, as always, because I find the most bizarre games.
As always,
unleash.
All right. Okay, so Once Human. I mean, everybody knows what Once Human is at this point. I've been having a blast on it. MMO. Finally got its full release, and it has been a ridiculous amount of fun. Like, we have had so much fun because there's a ton of us on a specific server in a specific world, and it has been an absolute blast. Literally, tonight I'm probably gonna pop on again because it's just so good, and I just want to chill and build my house. I just want to and I have a tilapia that I beat the shit out of things with, so I'm like, and I run around naked. It's so fun. I fucking love that game.
Still rocking the fish.
I'm still rocking the fish, and I still run around with my armor hidden. So I'm literally just wearing a bra and underwear, and I have a gigantic handprint on my ass, and it is glory. And it's just amazing. It's beautiful, beautiful sight. Because my character has the cake.
That cake looks like it's in a battle with the underpants, and the ass is winning because it's just chowing down on those underpants.
100%. And plus you put on a little bit of weight when you eat. And so sometimes I'm like, I'll fill up because I'm like, I'm going to go fight. So I want to fill up, and your ass just gets bigger. And the underwear, I'm like, you poor things. You poor things.
Of the thickness.
That's it. I got a game from the developer. His name is Carlos. And he's developing a series called Horror Tales. And the first game I played from him was The Wine. And now I'm playing the second game, The Beggar. And it starts off where you're like, you learn that you're like, it's in the very beginning, you find out you're a beggar. The world has kind of fallen apart, and you're a beggar it ties into the first game, which is pretty awesome. You're basically having a psychological issue from toxicity tied to the first game. And you're seeing this creature named Morven. And he's like this big alien looking thing. But the game has a really cool mechanic. I thought at first I was afraid it was just going to be hey, run from this alien guy and throw stuff at him. And I was like, well, that would be kind of weird because The Wine was a really beautiful storytelling game and it was really scary. But no, it turns out you can rotate the earth because when it's sunny out, you burn. And so you can rotate the earth, and when you do, things move. And so to get to places, you have to rotate the earth in order to bring things to you, and then rotate it again to go. Like, this game is pretty freaking amazing. And it's a horror game, sci-fi horror. And yeah, I'm really impressed by it. And the dev is like sweet as can be. The dev just wants people to play his game and love it. It's cheap. It's like, I think it was like $14 or something like that. It's such a wonderful game. I'm really liking it. I played a really cute, quote, cozy Souls-like called The Sacred Acorn. However, I personally feel it's more of a roguelite. It has aspects of Ori in terms of like skill tree and using your bar of essence in order to refill your health. And you play this really cute little squirrel, and you're literally just fighting your way through doing missions and trying to find out like what is going on in this land, like why are things breaking. And it's by a small little indie dev team, and the art style is absolutely beautiful. And the soundtrack is stunning. And it's a really great, cute little game. Really, really nice little game by just a small little indie dev company. And it's beautiful. Highly recommend it.
It's a cute looking game.
Yeah, it's very, very cute, but punishing. Like, and it has its own death counter, which I love and hate. Because I'm like, I'm watching myself die again and again. But like while you're fighting this like Cthulhu creature, it's like like this like sweet music in the background, and you're like like running for your life because everything's coming after you, and it's like la 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 la. It's really great. I'm very happy with it. Highly recommend. And then
Watership
I talked about this.
To it. Jesus.
It does. Yes, 100%. And then I came back to, I did a demo of this game. I talked about it a while ago, and I got the full game from the publishers. Thank you so much. I got Vampire Therapist. And I can't stress to you how much I love this fucking game. It's a visual novel. I literally have a clip that's posting tomorrow where you play this like cowboy vampire who wants to be a therapist because you want to help other vampires. Your name is Sam. And you are getting tutored by this like really old vampire named, his name is Andromachos, right? And he's like, but you can call me Andy, right? So just as an example, the clip I'm posting tomorrow, Andy says, when Marky Aurelius and I, blah, 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 blah. And Sam goes, wait, you mean Marcus Aurelius, the Roman Empire? And he goes, I mean, yes, his name is Marcus, but Marky is his bedroom name. And Sam goes, you mean you and Marcus Aurelius were? And he goes, oh, back in those days, penetration was like a handshake. I can't stress to you how funny this fucking game is, right? But then at the same time, you're literally dealing with like deep issues of like labeling, you know, like people who call themselves like, oh, I'm so stupid, right? Dealing with that. You're dealing with all of these like genuine therapy issues that you would talk to a therapist about. And they had insight from therapists. And so you're dealing with like all of these really deep issues, yet there's this amazing dialogue. Like I cannot recommend Vampire Therapist enough. That game is hysterical. And the voice acting is top tier. The accents and the acting, the art it's simple because it's a visual novel. So it's like just, you know, a quick movement, light up, go dark. But the script, the therapy aspects of it, there are literally points where we're like, all right, well, that they're not talking about me or anything. Like some like serious, like especially as a creator, it was talking about like the shoulds. I should be here at this point in my life. I should be there. But who says should? Like, who's telling you that? Why? And so like it's dealing with all these deep aspects while also being absolutely hysterical. Highly, highly recommend Vampire Therapist.
This brings us to a shared item to wrap the games we've been playing this week.
Yes.
So we've both been playing, me and Kim, Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yes.
So I'm pretty curious for your take on this game. It's a mixed bag for me so far. I'm about 7 hours in on it. How you doing with it? Where are you at in it? What's going on with Kingdom Come?
Okay. So this was one of those games. I saw the second one is coming out. And I was like, I've never played the first one. And I know I'll be getting the second one. I could always just look up the story for the first one. But then I saw that I was offered a key for the first one. And I was like, I'm going to play it, right? And if I hate it, then I can look up the story so I can play the second one, you know? I have a problem. I fucking love this game. But I'll tell you why I love it. I love it because it's such a meme. It's such a meme. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous game. And just the storytelling is super fun so far. Just the fact that you're like this kid and you want to do right by your father, but at the same time, you're peer pressured into like throwing shit on somebody's house. I really love it.
I didn't sling the shit.
So much. I slung the shit. I did. And then we had to fight the kid. And I love the combat because it's very chivalry. Like it's very like that style where it's like, you know, block, you know, aim the direction that you want to like hit your sword, you know? So I hate the fact that I love it because it's a big game and I don't have fucking time for this. There's too many games. And I played this and I was like, what am I going to do? I want to play more of it and I love it so much. And I don't have time for more games. It's not fair. It's not fair.
So I'm further in the game, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I love the story of this game a lot. And I think I'm going to slog through it because I love the story. I fucking can't stand the combat in this game. And it's got a lot of systems in it that I can't stand. One of my biggest pet peeves in a video game is fucking eating. I hate eating mechanics in video games because like in real life, all right, I'll eat something and I'm good. I'm good for a while, like 4, 5, 6 hours. I'm good. But in video game time, it's every 30 minutes. You're starving to death.
Are you sword fighting, Mike? Are you building homes? Are you chopping down trees with your fists in real life?
I am eating.
That's exhausting.
She's got
You
you
need
there.
to eat and gain ass weight.
But 5 minutes in the game and I'm starving. Okay. And you have to stop what you're doing and eat or your stamina bar goes down. And you really need that stamina bar to not be down at all for the combat in the game, which is ridiculously hard.
Combat is so hard.
Wait
Yeah.
until you have to sword fight 2 people at the same time.
Well, I know it's going to be hard because I'll tell you right now. One of the first things that was said was everybody who has played this game and was in chat said, I am so excited. Mickey is going to die so much.
You're going to die a lot.
So I have to make another death counter.
You really have to have a paradigm shift about the fact that you're playing a video game when you're playing this and think, in real life, if I was in this situation, what would happen? You could be one of the baddest fucking motherfuckers on the planet. And if it's a 2v1, you're probably going to die. So you kind of have to think about that every time you come up to a scenario where combat could happen. So my natural inclination has served me incredibly well. What do I like to do in games? I like to be sneaky. I like to kill without honor. And boy, have I been a dishonest little bastard.
That's how I'm probably going to play because I think that'd be a lot of fun.
I got to this fight out in the woods where my buddy had been kidnapped. And he'd been kidnapped by two evil soldiers who are sitting around the campfire yucking it up and laughing. And the first 5 times I ran in there, they just cleaned me out immediately. And so finally I said, you know what? It's time to do what I do best. I'm going to wait till it gets dark. So I'm going to hide in this bush until it gets fucking dark outside.
And eat 3 times.
Oh, I did a lot of eating while I was sitting in that bush. Just shoveling cheese down my fucking face because it's all I had on me. And so one of them sits down on a bench. I go, there we go. So I sneak around the camp and I sneak up to this poor bastard who's on the bench and I choke him the fuck out.
Nice.
Right in front of his friend. And so I've got him as my human shield. I'm choking this fucker out. And then I drop him, pull my sword. Now I got a 1v1. Okay. Now this dude might have in real life probably cut off both of my legs and one of my arms, but I was alive at the end of the encounter and he was dead. And that's all that mattered. And I got away by the skin of my teeth. And it was great. So I hate the combat, but I love it. It's got that Dark Souls energy to it where it's like, oh, fuck, I got to fight. But then after you get done fighting, you're like, oh man, this is good. Word of the wise, manually save like it's 1995 in this game because it checkpoints horribly at terrible times. So if you think you might even sniff combat in Kingdom Come Deliverance, you better save before you take that next step.
Okay.
Or you're going to be pissed.
That's a good
another thing with this game is it likes realism likes it a little too fucking much. Okay. For anybody that actually has shot bows and arrows, modern bow and arrow is where it's at. There's a lot of things to help you and assists with a composite bow. But if you've ever gone to the Ren Fair and picked up the shitty fucking bow at the arching booth,
Yes.
where, after a few shots, you might kind of have this squirrely fucking piece of shit figured out. That's like all the bows I've encountered so far in the game. And there's no reticle. There's no UI for shooting. You just have to look at the screen and go, well, I think it's going to go there. And then pray that you've chosen wisely at where you decided to take the shot. So it leans on realism pretty hard. So now I've come to a town and it's kind of gone into a murder mystery because like some asshole came and slaughtered this whole town and I got to whodunit and figure it out. And yeah, it's good. It's good. I definitely want to play through the story. I am not going to go completionist on this game. I don't think. I've seen on Reddit where people had the same mentality as I did, and they said they fell in a 300-hour hole that they couldn't climb out of until they did everything.
Oh,
So I don't know. It's really good though. I'm really enjoying it, and the story's fantastic on it. Outside of that, I didn't put this on the list, and I just remembered it now because I was sitting playing it before I got on for a few hours. I'm back into Death Stranding. I had that itch. I'm like, I need to fire it back up. I was really enjoying that game. And I said, same thing, paradigm shift. Golden Path missions, doing them. Everything else, not doing it. Not doing it. Just Golden Path. And now I'm having a great time with it because it feels like I'm progressing quickly. I'm about at Montana on the track across the country, having a good time with it though, and loving all the Kojima vibes. So we're back, Death Stranding. I think I'm gonna finish that game next, to be honest.
nice.
Whew. Guys,
We did it.
Johnny wrote down Marvel Snap, but I'm not doing that to you all. I played like 30 hours of Marvel Snap. We're not talking about Marvel Snap.
Marvel Snap's in a good place right now. I just wanted to give it a little shout out. It's in a very chaotic meta, and I'm loving it.
It's gone crazy, but nobody will understand
totally
literally anything we say beyond that doesn't play the game as much as we do. So. Let's go around the horn and say farewell. If you have any closing thoughts that you want to share, great. Kim, thanks for coming in.
Yay, I'm glad I was finally able to be here
Have
this
fun
week.
running around almost completely naked in a crazy sci-fi
Absolutely.
world, beating things to death with a fish.
Absolutely. Yes,
Johnny,
I plan to.
farewell to you, sir. Have fun playing
you as well.
music at
Get your fly buzzer.
I'm at Odie's Booze Box. tomorrow. I like
Odie's
that
and
place.
Odenton, hon.
Yeah. They like me there.
Dude,
I do well.
Your
in that
Baltimore
place.
accent is so good.
You know,
man.
Johnny, he's
It
going to
is
be
really
over
good.
there at
So
Odie's
good.
and Odenton. It's the bar underneath Perry's, and he's going to play some guitar.
That's so good.
He's gonna play some Post Malone.
Oh God. Yeah, the first time I hear Donna talk about Post Malone, ugh. Hey, Johnny, have you ever heard of this Post Maloney?
I fucking love Post Malone.
I do too.
Yeah, he's
I love
going
him.
country.
Yeah, I love him. He's adorable. He's so happy. Pike made a goddamn emote in Discord, Watermelon, and it's Post Malone's face on a watermelon, and I fucking hate it.
We will, of course, be back again next week with another great episode for you to enjoy. Until that time, I'm Mike Dawson.
And I'm Johnny Paulus.
And I am Kim, utterly exhausted, pumped, and chilly.
Tune in next time. Take care.
Catch y'all on the flip flop.
Oh, yeah.